My name is Sarah Catherine Watkins, and this is Speech 3, Narrative Speech. These are my audience members, and my narrative speech is to talk about the first time I ever was in a talent show. So the first time I was in a talent show, I actually signed up around 10 years old, which was the first time that you could ever sign up. And I remember practicing for weeks before for the talent show, and I remember wanting to sing the song God Bless America by Alwyn Berwin. And I was very excited and also very nervous at the time to try out, because you actually started trying out when you were 10 years old, and you would either make it or you wouldn't make it. So my school hosted the talent show every year, and I never really had the nerve to actually do it. And then finally, my mom kind of talked me into, hey, you have a good singing voice, so you should probably try out. So I decided that I was going to try out. And when you got at tryouts, they gave you a number, which is what I use for my visual aid for my audience, is the number, which my number was number 8. And I remember this woman sticking her head out the door and calling my number, and I was nervous and a ball of anxiety because I'd never tried out in front of judges before in my life. This was the first time I'd ever done this. So I walked in to a room, and there was 3 judges at a big table. They were all sitting right across from each other. And they said, how old are you and what's your name? I said, my name is Sarah Catherine Watkins, and I am 10 years old, and I'm going to sing God Bless America. And one of the judges actually laughed when I said I was going to sing God Bless America, and she said, well, don't you think that song is a little too mature or too old for you? And I was just like, well, I've been practicing a very long time for this, and I'm actually very excited to sing it for you. So I took a deep breath in, and I remember just being so nervous to even sing that my face started turning very red. And they knew I was nervous because this was the first time I'd ever done anything like this. So I started breathing in very deep, and finally I started singing, and I sung my heart out. And then finally, at the end, they all stood up and they clapped for me, and they told me that I did a great job and that I could sing at the talent show. And I remember before I went in there, I was just telling my mom how nervous I was, and she gave me a hug and told me it was going to be fine and I was going to do great, and ended up doing a very good job. And this actually was the first time I also ever sung in front of more than one person or sung in front of a judging panel, which they would say, yes, you can be in the talent show, or no, you can't be in the talent show. Which I was glad they said yes, because if they said no, I would have probably cried a lot more than I was already crying because I was so nervous. So after being accepted into the talent show, they chose me for the opening song, since I was singing God Bless America. And I got on stage, and there was probably around 100 people there at the talent show. And I sung in front of all those people, and at the end of it, everyone stood up and clapped for me, and I got a round of applause, which was very reassuring because I thought that I wasn't as good as I was, and to have people come up to me and just tell me how good I did, it actually made me get over stage fright. So with that being said, I started singing at my church, and I started singing everywhere else, and I didn't stop. And then finally, that's kind of what got me into playing the guitar and doing stuff like that. So I definitely had a good time with that, and it made me nervous, and it really impacted my life and changed my life because it made me more open and comfortable to sing around people that I didn't know, because they couldn't really judge me. It was scarier to sing in front of people that were sitting at a table judging you than a whole audience that ended up standing up and clapping for me. So this was my narrative speech on the first time I ever sung in front of anyone and the first time I ever tried out for a talent show. Thank you for watching.